Hey everybody, it's Heslin with Polymath, and I'm here with none other than...
Jeff McDonald, the advisor to the NEM Council.
Great. So is there anything new about NEM these days that you'd like to tell the public about?
Sure. Actually, there's some really big news. About a month ago, the NEM developers open sourced Catapult. Now, a lot of people still haven't heard what Catapult is. It is the newest version of NEM. It's been in development for 2.5 years. The original version launched in early 2015, was written in Java. Catapult has been written in C++. Now, that basically means it's built better for performance. The NEM developers have taken everything that they learned from previous blockchain building experience and reviewed it and built upon it and made an even better blockchain. So we've had a couple projects already announce ICOs using this core blockchain technology. Proxima X, I think they made like more than 30 million. Kamsa's made more than 80 million, and I think DevSlopes is now currently ongoing with their ICO. I don't know how much they're making, but we're seeing a wide variety of companies, even within this short amount of time, adapt the technology and start to launch their products on it. So very exciting, yeah.
Yeah, that's amazing. I was just at a Japan blockchain conference as well, and spoke with Pico On at QuindyX, and you guys just had that really fantastic product launch.
Yeah.
Congratulations on that.
We're really happy with everything that QuindyX is doing. They're here today at this conference. They've built this great POS terminal, and yeah, QuindyX, check them out. It's great. They have this little device. You can do credit cards, crypto, whatever, get a receipt. Wonderful product.
Yeah, really good. So in terms of your outreach at the moment, is NEM targeted on building out in the Asian market? What's the approach right now?
Yeah, so we have our director of operations out of Malaysia. We have a 1,000 square meter blockchain center there. It's based out of, it's in the downtown, it's in a mall. Steven Chia is the head of that operation, but we've been rapidly expanding our operations in all the Southeast Asian countries, and we're looking at setting up NEM offices in basically everywhere throughout Asia.
Wow.
So I would hope by the end of this year, we could have 200 NEM Foundation employees in Asia.
That's tremendous. Congratulations on that.
Yeah, no,
really good news.
It's been a long time coming, and traditionally we didn't do marketing nearly as well as what we could have, but we were kind of waiting for this Catapult technology to be delivered, but now that it's been open source, now that people are building on it, it's time for us to really ramp up marketing and community building. So that's what we're looking at.
Yeah, that's great. So we were talking a little bit earlier, and you told me you used to live in Korea. Home of homes, the mecca of crypto right now.
Yes.
What's your opinion on the regulatory space at the moment?
It was funny. So I got into blockchain in 2013. And when I first got into it, Korea didn't know anything. And I think even in 2015, I still can't say who they are, but I met with multiple government agencies and spent some time basically teaching them what blockchain was. And then the government came out, and the government was initially really pro-blockchain. And there was this number that was constantly quoted in the press that the Korean government was going to release so much money for blockchain development, and it got people really excited. And maybe it worked a little bit too well, because Korea became wildly successful with blockchain, right? It took us all by surprise. Yeah, it was huge. And then kind of the Korean government has hit the brakes, and since then they've been playing this on again, off again kind of game. But I fully expect reason to prevail. I would like to see some sensible and well-defined regulation coming out of Korea. The FSA in Japan has kind of led the way, and that's important because there's a lot of crypto trading money in Korea, but there's also a lot of big businesses. Samsung with NextLedger. We've had some homegrown Korean coins. And until we really know where we're standing with regulation, hopefully the lighter, but the more clear, the better, right? So easy regulation that's easy to follow, but also not burdensome, but very clear, and that the government's not going to go back on. I think we can see a huge crypto boom even again in Korea, not just for trading, but real blockchain businesses coming out. Like one company I really like, which is here represented today at this conference, is K-Chain. I know that they're building out multiple projects, and they could build out a lot more if the government was more clear on their guidance and regulation. So I'm hoping to see that. Gibraltar, for instance, Singapore, for instance, they're kind of welcoming and they're seeing these booms. And the way I equate that, it's kind of a silly example, but it's medical marijuana. Like medical marijuana started, marijuana was bad. A long time ago, they said crypto was bad, right? But crypto never killed anybody. And it turns out that medical marijuana didn't really ever kill anybody either. And then one state in America, Colorado, made medical marijuana. And they saw that, hey, you know what? It's actually good for some use cases, legitimate use cases. And Colorado saw a huge boom in their economy because they embraced something that other people thought was bad, but actually turned out to be not so bad. And then other states in America followed. Now there's 30 states in America that have approved it. And I think that we're going to see the same thing in the world, where a few countries are going to say, crypto, it's this bad thing, nobody likes it, you shouldn't do it. So wait a second, this is actually, blockchain technology is actually really good for a few things. Let's make it legal, let's regulate it, let's give people best practices. And I think that the countries that do that, the jurisdictions that do that, are going to see a huge crypto boom. So I'm hoping that Korea is part of this great surge that's coming. Bobby Lee did a great presentation today about Bobby Lee from PTCT China, about all the money that's coming into crypto and the trends that goes up and down. And I think Korea can position itself very well to take a part of that in the future.
Speaking of large market booms, I'd like to know your opinion on security token offerings and security tokens in general versus utility tokens.
So this is probably not the best opinion expressed by the industry as a whole, but honestly, I believe if you're doing an ICO, you have a security token. I believe like 99% of tokens are security tokens, because to me, most of what's driving cryptocurrency trading is the hope that people become rich. Not
the Howey test.
Yeah, the Howey test. Not the fact that someone wants to buy a coin so they can unlock an app. There's very, very, very little of people going on exchanges buying a coin so they can unlock a feature in an app. Almost everybody's going on an exchange, buying a coin, hoping to become a millionaire. And to me, personally, I think that means security. Now, that being said, crypto's not exactly a security. It's this kind of new class of technology and monetary instrument that's never existed. So to kind of apply old world security definitions to this new world technology isn't exactly right. So is it a utility? Not quite. Is it a security? Not quite. It's this new thing, and we need to think of it in a new way and stop boxing crypto in to the old narrative. Because,
where do you see the security token market in, let's say, 6 months from now? But also NEM, you guys are making major strides. So what kind of, prediction might you have 6 months for security tokens in NEM?
Well, the NEM native token, the first token, NEM actually has tons of native tokens. Anybody can make their own native token. But the first token was called ZIM. As far as I'm concerned, ZIM came so long ago and basically has kind of skirted the whole security, not security issue, kind of like Ethereum in a way, although Ethereum is even a little bit more questionable because NEM actually predates Ethereum. So it kind of falls into this old category where people were not investing thinking that they were going to become millionaires at that time. People were investing and afraid to talk about it because people were laughing at them. Like people laughed at me, right, when I told them I was getting into cryptocurrency. So it's kind of a different era, and I think that now we have much more what you can consider a security token. And I think that as soon as governments start to regulate it, and I think that they will, I think that most governments are going to come out and say, okay, these are security tokens. and then that's going to kind of work and not kind of work, and then they're going to refine the definition or change the definition. So I think there's going to be some dancing back and forth on what it is and what it isn't, and I hope that someday we can define crypto and blockchain coins under kind of a new class. So we stop using the language of previous asset classes, because again, it's this new kind of asset class. But it's, in a lot of countries, it's going to be labeled as a security. No doubt about it. Yeah, that's coming.
Well, I greatly appreciate this interview. I know you have fantastic insights and a wonderful vision of what's ahead and what's happened in the past. So I appreciate your time greatly. And hopefully we see each other again soon at an up-and-coming conference. Thank you for your time, Jeff.
Looking forward to it. Thank you.
Thanks.